Hey, welcome back. I am so glad you're here today because this one has been sitting in my brain for a long time and it is so overdue. We are going to talk today about fitness goals and relationships, and not in the cute couples who's trained together, stay together bullshit kind of way. I mean, the reality version of this, the messy version, the version where you finally decide you want to change your body, and suddenly the people around you become the biggest variable in whether that actually happens. Because here's the thing nobody in the fitness industry really talks about openly. Your partner or the people around you can significantly make this harder than it needs to be, or they can make it nearly impossible. And sometimes, in a different kind of way, a partner who's too obsessed with how you look creates just as much damage as the one who doesn't care at all. So, today we're going to be going through 7 specific relationship dynamics I see come up over and over again with my clients. What is actually happening underneath the surface of each one, what the real bottleneck is, and what you can actually do about it. Because I'm not here to just name your pain and leave you there. I want you to walk away with language, with clarity, and with some actual tools. So let's dive into it. Grab a coffee. I know I have mine. And let's actually talk about this subject, which is at times, it's a doozy and it does come up often. So the partner, like the first type of partner is the partner who gets threatened by your progress. This is the dynamic that often surprises people the most because it can catch you completely off guard. You start going to the gym, you start meal prepping, you say to no to patio drinks on a Tuesday, you start looking good. You're losing body fat, you're standing differently, your confidence is up. And instead of your partner being excited for you, something shifts. They get weird. They get distance. They make little comments. They ask passive aggressive questions, or they outright pick fights with you about your schedule. What is happening here is not really about the gym. It is about threat. Your change is holding up a mirror to them, and they don't like what they see. And this doesn't need necessarily be in a romantic partnership. This could be in friendships, this could be in work relationships. This could just be in any area of your life. When you start investing in yourself, some people interpret that as you pulling away from them. Or they start to wonder why you're suddenly so motivated. Who is this for? Are you suddenly unhappy with them? Are you trying to attract someone else? And underneath all of that is insecurity. If it's friendships and there's somebody who's been talking about doing something for a long period of time and never doing it, that insecurity becomes very loud. It's a very human nature thing to feel, but how they handle that insecurity is what determines whether you can make this workable. The other layer is social, okay? If you're no longer available for Tuesday patio drinks or Friday takeout, you could be disrupting the routine that is bonding you as a couple. Routines feel like connection, whether we're aware of that or not. So when you break them, even for a healthy reason, a partner who does not have their own sense of self outside of those shared rituals can feel like you're pulling the rug out from underneath them. The problem here is that they are interpreting your self investment as a withdrawal from the relationship. They might not say that out loud, and you have not addressed it. So it just lives in the space between you and them as tension and friction. So what do? First, you have to name it, like not in an accusatory way, but transparently. Okay. Something like, I have noticed things feel a little off since I started prioritizing the gym. I want us to talk about that because I'm not going anywhere. I'm doing this for me, but I also want you to feel like we are still connected. Then you get proactive about replacing the rituals. If patio drinks was how you connected, go and have a Diet Coke. Still go, but you don't need to drink. A walk. You could go for a walk instead. A Sunday morning routine. Something that signals to them that your relationship will still get intentional time, even though your lifestyle has shifted. And I'll say this directly. If your partner's insecurity is showing up as jealousy or controlling behavior, or they're like consistently undermining, that is genuine, like all the things that are good for your health. That's a bigger conversation that I can cover here, but that's worth taking seriously. Okay. Second partner. This is the partner who questions your time. And this one is slightly different. It's less about jealousy and more about a real negotiation around time and family bandwidth. This comes up a lot with women who have children, who have partners who work long hours or who are already stretched like really thin. You add a few hours a week of gym time, maybe some meal prep on Sundays and Wednesdays, and suddenly there's a very legitimate conflict about who is carrying the load at home. And I want to be fair here because sometimes this is real and it's a valid concern. If you have two young kids, a partner who works shifts, and there was already a gap in who was doing what at home, adding gym time does create logistical problems, okay? The issue is not that you want to go to the gym. The issue is that nobody renegotiated the household math before you added something new. The problem is that your fitness goals were layered onto an existing system without restructuring that system first. So the conversation you need to have is not defensive, okay? You're not asking for permission, but you are acknowledging that your household runs on a system and that you want to work together to update it. So you got to be specific, okay? Know when you want to work out, know for how long. Come to the conversation with a proposal, not a request, okay? I want to train Monday, Wednesday, Friday mornings before everyone is up, or on Saturday while you have the kids. That is different from a vague, I just need more time for myself. And that's the one women start saying is, I just need more time for myself, because majority of the time as females, we are burnt out. We are feeling overloaded. And that's the words that come out of our mouth, and they really mean nothing. And if your partner is consistently framing your gym time as selfish, I want you to think about whether that standard applies to them too. Okay. Because a lot of women have been socialized to believe that personal investment is a luxury they do not deserve while the family needs them. That's not something I'm willing to co-sign. You are allowed to have time that is yours. That shouldn't be a problem. Number three, the all or nothing spiral that isolates you from your family. Okay, I have to talk about this one because I see this in particular with extreme dieters and competitors the most. This is the woman who starts a fitness journey and like goes full tilt boogie. She's eating her own meals. She's bringing her Tupperware to family dinners. The kids are eating pasta and she's sitting there with her chicken breast in her prepped container. And like there is this invisible wall she has built between herself and everyone else at the table. And the family's not confused about the food. They're confused about her because what they're watching is someone who cannot seem to exist in shared spaces anymore. You cannot eat with them. You know, you've removed yourself from one of the most human relational rituals there is, sitting down and eating together. And I'm not saying you have to abandon your goals at every family gathering. I'm saying that the all or nothing mindset does not just affect your habits, it affects your relationships. It signals to the people around you that your goals are incompatible with normal life. And I want you to think about that if you have young, impressionable females in your life, okay? Young girls. Imagine the habits you are teaching them. You're not getting ready for a contest, you're getting ready for life, and you refuse to eat food with them. And then you wonder why they're having strange relationships with food or why there's resistance in your family. The bottleneck here is rigidity. And the rigidity is often a function of anxiety. When someone is like white knuckling a new structure, any deviation feels catastrophic. They got to be in control. So they build walls to protect the plan. But those walls do not keep old habits out. They actually keep people out too. What I coach my clients on is finding a flexible approach that can coexist with real life. You should be able to sit down at a dinner table and eat something that mostly works. It doesn't have to be perfect to be productive. Progress does not require isolation. And if you're at a stage where you cannot get through a family meal without a full fucking spiral, that's information worth paying attention to. That is worth exploring with someone who actually understands it. All right. Number four, the partner who thinks it should all be easy. This one hurts in a quiet way, and it does come up frequently. This is the partner who genuinely cannot understand why you struggle. They can drop a few pounds by cutting out beer for 2 weeks. They put on muscle by showing up to the gym a few times. Their metabolism does exactly what it's supposed to do. And they've never really had a complicated relationship with their body or food. And so when you tell them you're struggling, they listen, but they don't really get it. And that comes out as impatience, like eye rolls, or here we go again, or the well meaning but brutal, you just need to be more consistent advice. They're not trying to be cruel. They genuinely do not have the frame of reference to understand what is easy for their biology is not the same as yours. They do not understand hormonal patterns or what it takes to rebuild a metabolism that has been through the ringer or what it's like to have a complicated history with food. They've never had a history. So they default to effort as the only variable there is. The problem here is that you are seeking understanding from someone who does not have the tools to provide it. And when you do not get that understanding, that can make you feel broken, which makes the whole process harder. My practical advice here, stop trying to get your partner to fully understand the complexity of your physiology. They may never get there. What you can ask for is support without comprehension. I do not need you to understand why this is hard. I need you to trust that this is hard and to stop offering me solutions. And on the flip side, you may want to ask them to stop bringing in so much junk food that continues to be sort of plaguing you week in and week out. And I want you to think about where you're getting the education and the support that your partner cannot give you. Because you need that somewhere, okay? A coach, a community, a space where someone actually understands the biology. Filling that gap is what keeps you from leaking your emotional energy into a conversation that was never going to give you what you need. All right, the fifth one. The fit partner who thinks their experience qualifies them to coach you and why they resist you getting outside help. Okay, this one is nuanced because it genuinely comes from a good place. And that is exactly what makes it so fucking hard to address. Okay. This is the partner who lives it. Okay. Like they fucking live it. He lifts or they lift. They're lean. Maybe they compete, bodybuilding, powerlifting, lifestyle, like you name it. They were like dialed in. Okay. And they've been doing it for years. They have a system that works. They look the part. And from the outside, it's like a full effortless lifestyle. And because it works for them, they want to share it with you. He sends you what he eats. He tells you what he does in the gym. He has opinions about your food choices. He weighs in on your training and not from a controlling way, because in his mind, he's handing you the solution. He's figured it out. So, like, here it is. You're welcome. Here's the problem with this. His relationship with food is probably nothing like yours. Okay. A lot of men who live the fitness lifestyle, even the ones who are incredibly dialed in, have never had a complicated emotional relationship with food. They do not attach morality to food choices. They do not have decades of diet culture telling them their worth is tied to their size. They have not been through prep cycles that disrupted their hormones or years of underfueling that rewired how their body responds. They eat, they hit their targets, they move on with their day. They have never looked at a piece of bread like it had personally wronged them, you know? So when he applies his framework to your situation, he can't account for that history because it's a little more cut and dry. He is solving a completely different problem than the one you actually have. And his confidence, because he is knowledgeable, he is experienced, can leave you feeling like if you just tried harder, if you were just more consistent, it would work the same way it works for him. This is the problem. It is not yours. It got handed to you. Because the issue was not effort. The issue is that his body and your body do not have the same history. A system built for his physiology, his psychology, and his relationship with food is not built for yours. The problem here is that his competence in his own fitness creates blind spots about yours. And the more knowledge he has, sometimes the more certain he is that he has the answers, which makes it harder for him to hear that his answer doesn't apply. And here's where it even gets more layered. Because when your partner is fit and knowledgeable and has a system that works, he can also be the reason why you don't get help. And it's not intentional, but he genuinely believes that it's not that complicated. He's going to also struggle to understand why you would need to pay a coach because he's got all the answers. In his mind, he already knows it. So investing in outside support is totally fucking unnecessary to him. Maybe even like a slight to him because he just wants to share with you everything that he knows and see you succeed with his knowledge. It's kind of like this male need to fix things. Like you are saying his knowledge is not enough and he can't fix the problem, which puts you in this position where you know you need support that he cannot give you, but bringing it up feels like a fight you do not want to have. Here's what I want you to hear. Needing a coach who specializes in your specific history is not an indicate. It's not like something wrong with your partner. A general practitioner does not replace a specialist. The fact that he has figured out his own body does not mean he has the tools to help you figure out yours. And when you remove that emotional aspect from your relationship, that sometimes can be really helpful too. You're not going around him, you're getting the right kind of help. And the conversation worth having is not about whether his approach is good. It probably is for him. Okay. It is about making clear that you need your own approach built around your own history and that his job is not to be your coach, it's to be your partner. And those are very different things. And when they get conflated, it creates friction that neither of you actually signed up for. Okay, the next one, number 6. We're almost there. The partner who is obsessed with how you look. Now we're flipping with. This one looks like support on the surface, but it can be very damaging. This is the partner whose entire identity is tied to aesthetics, their own, yours, the lifestyle, the love. They love that you train, they love that you compete, or they want you to compete, or they love when you are lean. They do it alongside you because for them, that's what partnership feels like. You are doing the thing together. And it sounds great until you realize that your motivation is no longer internal. You are not doing this because you want to. You are doing this because their approval is wrapped up in it. And the moment you want to take a break and your body changes, or you want to stop competing, you get pushed back. It feels like disappointment. It's subtle, but this constant pressure to maintain a performance for their comfort. This can create approach avoidance. You move towards your goals because of their attention and then pull back because something in you knows this is not for you. You resist because some part of you is fighting for autonomy, even if you cannot name that consciously. It's like active rebellion dressed up as self-sabotage. The problem with this is that the source of motivation is external and unstable. External motivation can get you started, but it cannot sustain you. And when that external motivation can get you what you need, it creates a dependency that will eventually fracture. The work here is figuring out what you actually want separate from what they want for you. And this is really important. Like your partner wants you to have bigger boobs. Maybe you don't want bigger boobs. What do you want your body to feel like? What does health look like for you, independent of how it looks for someone else? Those are the questions worth sitting with. Like, your partner likes you to look lean, but at what cost to you? Number 7, and the final one, the partner who makes negative comments about your body. Okay, I saved this one for last because it is the most direct form of harm, and I wanted to give it like my full attention and full weight. Okay. This is the partner who comments on your body in a way that is super critical, who tells you that you've let yourself go, who makes comments at the dinner table about what you're eating, who says things that are framed as concern, but they land as shame, who has made you feel like your body is a problem, and that reflects on them. And I'm not going to soften this for you. Like, that's not okay. That's not motivation. That's not tough love. Consistent negative commentary about your partner's body is a form of emotional harm, and it causes real damage to someone's relationship with themselves, with food, and with actually taking care of themselves. What I see in clients who come from this dynamic is that fitness feels kind of contaminated. Working on their body is tied to performing for someone who, in their opinion, is hurting them. They either try to change to make the comment stop, which means their entire goal is rooted in shame and they're never going to feel enough, or they shut down completely because changing their body feels like giving their partner a win, and that's unbearable too. The issue is that their relationship with their own body is being managed by someone's cruelty. And you cannot build a healthy relationship with your own body while someone is in your house systematically dismantling it. If this is you, I want to say very clearly, the problem is not your body. And the goal should not be to change fast enough to make the comments stop, because the comments are not actually about your body. They're about control and your partner's inadequacies, their own inadequacies. This warrants a serious conversation with your partner and possibly with a professional, because this isn't a fitness problem. This is a relationship problem. And there isn't a training template out there that's going to fix that. Okay, so in closing, this is a long one, I know, but those are 7 very strong dynamics that I see: the threatened partner, the time challenged household, the all or nothing spiral, the partner who thinks it should be easy, the super fit partner, the partner who is too invested in how you look, and the partner who tears you down. What they all have in common is that they are relationship dynamics intersecting with your health in ways that make this harder than it already is. And here's what I want to leave you with. Your health is yours. Your body is yours. Your goals are yours. A good partnership, friendship, relationship amplifies that. And you could literally take all 7 examples and tie them into any relationship in your life, not just a romantic partnership. And this doesn't mean your partner does not matter. They do. And a healthy relationship does require honest communication, negotiations, and mutual respect. But those things go both ways. You extending grace toward their learning curve is reasonable. You perpetually abandoning your own health to manage their feelings, that's not. You are allowed to want this, you're allowed to prioritize it, and you're allowed to expect the people who love you to figure out how to support it, even if they need some time to get there. Thanks for being here. If this did like hit home to you, please feel free to share this with someone who needs to hear it. And if you're ready for real support for someone who actually understands all the layers underneath this, you know where to find me. Talk to you guys soon.